It's over. It's over. Knicks fans, this is not a dream. Your long, long wait has ended. Go ahead and cry. After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
Over 8 million residents in the greatest city on earth, at the heart of New York City, the Mecca, placed in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. In the National Basketball Association's 80th year of existence, the New York Knickerbockers remains one of the two teams from the start to never relocate from their founding city. On June 13, 2026, many can only dream to see this very day. From the crazy stories not even most dads can share, but the grandfathers who last witnessed the 1973 title team, a championship for their favorite team seemed out of reach, a dream many didn't think they would live long enough to be fulfilled. Over half a century in the making, an entire generation of Knicks fans growing up waiting for this very moment. Some fans went to their graves never experiencing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Former legends who recently left this world before seeing another banner race, just like old relatives talk about Willis Reed limping out the tunnel, while Frazier owning the biggest stage Game 7, the legends felt more like myths. But yet, on a legendary Saturday evening, after the final buzzer sounded, the wait finally ended. The New York Knicks are NBA champions once again. Even the most knowledgeable of fans couldn't have predicted. New Yorkers always believed, and thousands of dreams have finally become reality. For decades, Madison Square Garden, known for the greatest athletes putting in all-time moments, cemented in eternal greatness. The Knicks' last title before this, not since Ali Frazier II. Moments like Michael Jordan's double nickel, historic college basketball atmospheres, McGregor becoming double champ. For most of their times, the Knicks were just existing, buried beneath decades of heartbreaks. When superstars after superstars pass on the team, the many years wandering through darkness, high tensions still irreparable to this day. While the super team eras had the biggest names, look for shortcuts. Leon Rose completely changed the trajectory of the franchise brick by brick. Waited patiently, no panic moves, no star chasing, just culture and winning basketball. With most of the other teams giving overrated players to Supermax, the Knicks search for competitors, tough gritty players, unselfish characters, players who care more about sacrifice than personal accolades, the foundation and face, the ultimate winner who made this possible, the remarkable Jalen Brunson. Then came Josh Hart. The Villanova connection wasn't just a collection of friends, it was championship culture, toughness, accountability, consistent winning habits from a decade ago. Thanks to the legendary Jay Wright, taught his players well. The OG Anunoby trade brought in championship DNA and winning plays, acquiring another Villanova legend, Mikal Bridges, for a massive 5 first-round picks from the directionless Nets, a controversial decision that left many doubters, especially with the top-tier stars in today's league. Some thought the Knicks didn't have enough star power. This team didn't need to be the most talented or perfect, just effort, blood, sweat, and sacrifice, fighters and winners at all capacity. A team without egos. Every man on the roster uplifts, picking up the slack. Everybody had each other's backs. A championship squad, remembered, cherished in the hearts of true New Yorkers, cemented in basketball immortality. For many, their favorite basketball moment of their lifetime. The pain, suffering, emotions, every roller coaster goosebumps leading to this once-in-an-opportunity feeling when you finally made it. The iconic franchise from the Dick McGuire, Max Solowski era being in the shadows to the Minneapolis Lakers. From Hall of Famer Richie Guerin, then came the captain Willis Reed and the iconic Walt Clyde Frazier, who still puts in his best work on the mic to this very day. The 80-year-old legend, 53 years in between, been with the franchise every step of the way, one way or another. This 2026 title team very much resembles the 1970 and 73 squad, both defeating the giants of the associations, freaks of nature, once-in-a-lifetime athletes Will Chamberlain and Victor Wembanyama. From the personalities in the locker room to the closers of Jalen Brunson and Walt Frazier, the rare balance of likable individuals, cohesive unit, a roster destined for basketball glory. It's true, the franchise never had the best player in the league at any point in time, perhaps not even a top 3 guy, but a well-balanced poetry in motion, offense, and defense. The style that would make Dr. James Naismith smile up in heavens, OG Anunoby giving Dave DeBusschere vibes with the two-way impact and hustle plays as evidenced by his continuous excellence all around postseason. MacLeod and Josh Hart brings the versatility similar to the late great Dick Barnett, while Willis Reed and Karl-Anthony Towns 20-point double-double monsters. Cat being a stat-stuffing machine early on with Minnesota, just like how Earl the Pearl Monroe with Baltimore. Both rounded their games, scoring less. A combination of depth, high IQ, and elite chemistry allowed the group to gel, excel. Multiple players from both the 70, 73, and 2026 title team could have gotten Finals MVP, defeating the squad with more superstar power. After the 73 chapter closed, franchise made multiple bad decisions, traded future picks for declining stars like Spencer Haywood and Randy Smith, set the franchise backwards. Then came the Michael Ray Richardson, Bernard King days. The 84 team, being the most memorable of that decade, took Larry Bird's Celtics to 7. Then came number 1 pick Patrick Ewing, who lived up to the hype, never truly had a second star. Only other all-stars during his time in New York, Mark Jackson, John Starks, and Charles Oakley, all one and dones, became one of the many victims who ran into Jordan and Hakeem. Then came the Sprewell Allen Houston era on the 99 Finals team, but after Jeff Van Gundy left, the dysfunction happened under Isaiah Thomas. After being bounced round 1 in 2001, the long dark days of having 9 straight seasons with a sub 500 record, highlighted by the Stephon Marbury era, a 9-year non-all-star drought, to Larry Brown bullying his guys, Zeke handing out big contracts to guys with short stints of success like Jaren Jeffries and Jerome Big Snack James, trading for the injury-prone Steve Francis, pairing him with Marbury while having Jamal Crawford all on the same team. Even a casual can tell you that wouldn't work. Then the 2010-11 season came along, changed everything. When free agent Amari Stoudemire declared the Knicks are back, balled out like an MVP candidate until team got too impatient, trading half their roster for Carmelo Anthony. Instead of having him sign as a free agent in the offseason, New York had contender aspirations right away. Despite the bad fit, 2012 became the most wild year. Despite a first round exit, a shortened season, having Linsanity ball out of nowhere captured the heart of thousands of more fans across the boroughs. 2013, the best year of the Melo era, good chemistry, but too many washed up vets on their last legs. Gave good effort all regular season, but their legs gave out by the second round. Things went downhill from then on, experimenting several different point guards to no avail, from washed up Jose Calderon to past his prime Derrick Rose, Elfrid Payton. Then came the super dark times when Phil Jackson appointed to run the squad, hiring his former Lakers, all of whom not very good at their jobs or beyond wash. Multiple wash seasons for Melo. His only memorable moment post 2013, dropped a single game garden high of 62 points January 24th, 2014. Hampered by injuries the following year, a piss poor 17 wins landed them with 4-pick Kristaps Porzingis. As long as Melo was on the roster, team continued to have high expectations with nothing to show. Team became so dysfunctional. The one play by any player not named Melo everybody remembers from the 2014 season, this epic travesty of a decision by Andrea Bargnani. Joakim Noah's disgusting contract, alongside the additions of washed-up Brandon Jennings, led to nothing but 11 and 12 seed finishes. After Melo's departure, team continued being crap. KP had a small peak where he looked like the future franchise star first half 2018 season before tearing his ACL. From whiffing on multiple lottery picks like Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox, starting Alonzo Trier, taking other teams' failed young talents, DeMario Hezonja, Emmanuel Mudiay, Dennis Smith Jr., Noah Vonlehs of the world, former Steve Mills with Derek Fisher, Kurt Rambis, Jeff Hornacek, and David Fizdale. It was disaster after disaster, an unsolvable puzzle. From winning a franchise low 17 wins, team tried to free up cap space for one last miracle, hoping to land a superstar free agent or two, having their eyes on number 1 pick Zion Williamson. In hindsight, thank goodness that didn't happen. Landing RJ Barrett wasn't the end of the world. The biggest gut punch of them all, superstars Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving elected to join their Archtown rivals, the inferior Brooklyn Nets, looked upon as the New York JV squad, got so embarrassing to the point many contemplated whether they still wanted to be true Knicks fans. Team even released a statement saying the future was still bright to cheer up the misery. Having to start somewhere, little did many expect, signing Julius Randle, an erratic, inefficient turnover machine labeled the bootleg version of Zion, ended up being much more impactful than Mr. Williamson's career himself. The short-term deals of Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, and Marcus Morris gave the team flexibility for cap space, moving some of these power forwards for assets, traded Morris to the Clippers, getting back first-rounder Emmanuel Quickley. The culture shifted. February 2020, with the firing of Fizdale, it was sports agent Leon Rose's turn to run the franchise, with defensive juggernaut Tom Thibodeau taking over as head coach. The only champion Knick to witness all these changes was Mitchell Robinson, drafted 2018, second longest tenured Deuce McBride, drafted 2021. Franchise would exceed all expectations that year, making the playoffs as a 4 seed, led by most improved player Julius Randle, with dogs like Derrick Rose, young RJ Barrett, Quickley, and Reggie Bullock. Team was bottom shelf talent on paper, but Tibbs gave them a true identity, hoping for a deep playoff run, got smothered by Trae Young. The 22 season didn't amount to much. RJ a disappointment. Evan Fournier overpaid and past his prime. Kemba Walker's knees were cooked. Nerlens Noel lasted 17 more games after his Knicks tenure. Once again, the future wasn't looking so bright. Had it been most other GMs, team would have collapsed and heads towards another rebuild. But with some slick tactics, desperately seeking for a good point guard, there was Dallas Mavericks Jalen Brunson, an undersized score first, silky style winner, backing up Luka, and under the radar, Knicks executive with Julius Randle sat front row in a Mavs playoff game against the Jazz. Without Doncic's first 3 games of the series, Brunson carried Dallas to a 2-1 lead, looked like a future All-Star. At the time, Dallas has yet to extend him, having a 41 and 31 point back-to-back wins as a first option, became the breakout star of the postseason and a proven number 2 next to Luka. A few weeks before free agency, New York's hired Jalen's father, Rick Brunson, as an assistant coach. Leon Rose himself was Jalen's godfather, while Leon's son, Sam Rose, was Brunson's agent. Whatever the consequences were with the fines, that was pennies compared to what the franchise was going to become. Without any wasted time, the parties agreed with Jalen signing 4 years, $104 million. Turned out to be the greatest signing in Knicks franchise history and possibly NBA history. For somebody who hasn't been an all-star yet, many were skeptical, believing Brunson was overpaid, when in fact, the greatest bargain any team can dream of from their franchise player, became an instant leader from day one and easily the best player. Despite Randle making All-NBA and All-Star, it was Brunson closing games with the ball in his hands, signed Isaiah Hartenstein on a 2-year deal from the Clippers, with the 2 Jays hooping. Team needed more pieces to push themselves from play-in to playoffs, needed more energy hustle guys, traded for Portland's Josh Hart, offered a contract extension, dealt the failing who viewed himself as a star Cam Reddish, and a first for Brunson's Villanova teammate, a do-it-all hustle guy, perfect for Tibbs' system. New York, already having their starts, didn't need more flashy big namers, while other teams might be feeling themselves a little bit extra. Adding big name guys at the expense of getting rid of key role players don't tend to end well. Dodged a massive bullet by not signing the one-dimensional Zach LaVine. The excellence of Brunson, Hart, and Mitchell Robinson led the Knicks to his first playoff series win in 10 years, smothering Cleveland. While RJ Barrett balled out against the Cavs, him and Randle struggled mightily against the winnable Miami Heat team. RJ went 1 of 10 in the final game, Randle 3 of 14. The culture and team's identity was only half complete, meaning other guys would need to be traded that didn't fit under Tip's system. Guys like Obi Toppin shipped it for 2 second rounders, signed Golden State's Dante DiVincenzo to 4 years $50 million, joining collegiate teammates Brunson and Hart. Later signed Ryan Arcidiacono for his locker room leadership and high IQ, the face of Villanova basketball. Joined Brunson's arrival, good positive energy and vibes. But after the team struggled to start the 23-24 season, went 17-15, more was needed. The biggest blockbuster move of that season, acquiring Toronto's forward OG Anunoby, trading RJ and quickly for one of the best 3-and-D wings, transforming the team's defense overnight. Squad went 12-2 before OG's elbow injury. Randle suffered a season-ending dislocated shoulder, shorthanded for the playoffs, eliminated Philly thanks to Brunson's 35.5 point average, had one of the greatest 4-game stretch in playoff history, not seen since Michael Jordan, plus some ridiculous clutch shot making from Dante DiVincenzo. Team went up 2-0 on the Pacers before OG hurt his hamstring, falling in the nail-biting Game 3. Josh Hart and Brunson also had injuries, fell in 7 games. Heading into 2024-25, everybody knew New York were playoff contenders, but were they legit dreads? Many questions surrounding Julius Randle's future with the team, a game short of the conference finals without him. Squad did the unthinkable, unloading 5 unprotected first-round picks, trading for Nets Mikal Bridges, gutting the future, not the roster. OG signs 5 years, $212. Brunson takes less money to keep the team together. Hartenstein offered the better deal from OKC, leaving Mitchell Robinson the only center temporarily until the stunning move trading for Wolves, Karl-Anthony Towns, a former number 1 pick, for Julius Randle, Dante, and a future first, forming a deadly starting 5, the same 5 who just captivated a 53-year title drought. Towns considered a gamble with his fit under Thibodeau, but capped off a stellar playoff run to the conference finals. Team won 51 games, with Tibbs playing his starters heavy minutes, Cat and Brunson named All-Stars. Mikal always reliable for 82 games. Brunson, clutch player of the year, continued his clutchness, drained the first round closing dagger on Detroit. Team wasn't even supposed to get past the second round against the defending champion Celtics until Mikal's excellence, owning both the Jays with his defensive masterpiece, stopping both stars in the final possessions, massive steals game 1 and 2, ran into an extremely hot Pacer stretch with Aaron Nesmith being Reggie Miller reincarnated. The way how Cleveland and San Antonio blew leads at the Garden, New York suffered that same fate to the Pacers the previous year. Mikal complained about guys playing too many minutes. Shamet buried deep down on the bench, received too many DMPs. Thibodeau also wouldn't have used Clarkson or Alvarado much. Team hired Mike Brown a month after Tibbs fired. Rescued Alvarado from New Orleans by getting rid of Yabusele. Picked up Jeremy Sohan after wait by the Spurs, finished the season 53 wins, the 3 seed. There were doubts about every player, from Brunson supposedly being too small, impossible to win a championship, with the best player undersized. While everybody evaluated every player in isolation, Leon Rose understood the value of chemistry and synergy. Cat label soft due to how he sounds with his voice, but absolutely dominant when needs to be. He's still 7 feet tall, 260 plus. Al Muscles Wimby, one of the 5 best rebounders in the league and the best outside shooting center we ever seen. While OG doesn't have the individual offensive talent like a prime Paul George, he's much better off the ball, better activity on the glass, a deadly enough 3-point shooter, and occasionally drive ferociously to the paint, yamming with both hands over and over as we seen all playoffs. He's the guy that gives the Knicks a championship framework, allowing Brunson and Towns to be stars without taking anything away from their skill sets, raises the ceiling of lineups, being one of the best archetypes in the league. The greatness of hometown legend Jose Alvarado, feeling all the emotions, having a Puerto Rican and Dominican on the team, has brought the city back more weights than ever imagined. His game 4 down the stretch, the most important, best game he'll play on the court with Brunson. Scoring on high school rival Julian Champagny just like old times. Doesn't get better than that. Undrafted, undersized, outworked and out-hustled everyone. Always ready for a scrap. Got the crowd back into the game. Contagious energy personified. Mitchell Robinson doing all he can with the mess up finger. Got the most important offensive rebound in Knicks final history. Arguably the most important rebound of his career. Landry Shamet brought back on a cheap deal. Knicks would have been down 0-2 without his outside shooting the first 2 games, all thanks to Malcolm Brogdon, sudden retirement, allowing an extra roster spot. Deuce McBride hit a bunch of big shots down the stretch. Knicks fans will never forget, had his epic 25-point closeout Philly moment, his crazy banker game 1, one of the most important baskets all finals, underrated. Jordan Clarkson always competes whether he plays 3 minutes or 20. Mike Brown's brilliance, from being a defensive coach in Cleveland to an up-tempo offensive mind with Sacramento after spending years in Golden State, he's as complete as ever now. From down 2-1 to Atlanta, many Knicks fans wanted him gone. Brown's brilliance, from being a defensive coach in Cleveland to an up-tempo offensive mind with Sacramento after spending time in Golden State, he's as complete as ever. From down 2-1 to Atlanta, Knicks fans wanted him fired. Everything changed. Click on the right buttons. Putting up one of the greatest coaching masterclasses, finished 14-1, displaying some of the most beautiful basketball we'll ever see. OG's incredible Game 4 shot, forever cemented as one of the 3 greatest plays all decade. From Melo communicating to the bench, knowing the glass was going to be open. All these years, former great Knicks legends from Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Latrell Sprewell, and many more poured their hearts and souls to the city. Never felt the title as players, but forever loyal to the organization, celebrated in unity thanks to the captain, the leader, the legend, one of the greatest winners in all of sports. Might not be the most talented player to ever put on a Knicks uniform, but will be remembered as the greatest New York Knicks in franchise history, the first player to get a statue on West 33rd and 7th Avenue, 6'1" second rounder who just carried his team with a masterful 45-point closeout Game 5 with a variety of clutch jumpers, taking down the giant Wemby while leading his fellow champions from Villanova and classmates, best friends, and a few hungry journeymen to the promised land. Salute to the king of New York himself, Mr. Jalen Brunson. All started in the playgrounds with assistant coach, former Knick, Father Rick Brunson, who couldn't be happier a week heading into Father's Day. Regardless of the scores or struggles, come fourth quarter time, Brunson knows how to close out with the best of them, winning games, scoring more than half his team's points. Similar to 98 MJ style, joining a legendary fraternity, being one of 7 guys to win a national title, NBA champion, and finals MVP, with Kareem, Bill Walton, Magic, James Worthy, MJ, Isaiah Thomas, and now Brunson, showing us all it's not about size. When you seize the moment with heart and determination, the true embodiment of an all-time New York Knicks, congratulations to the 2025-26 NBA champions, a dream that became reality for millions, leading the city in a frenzy, joys, tears, and euphoria in the capital of the world, a run stamped, punctuated, in a piece of basketball immortality. This weight wasn't just a championship, it was decades of faith, resilience, and belief, a lifelong journey, witnessed with the greatest city in the world finally reaching basketball's promised land, the 2026 New York Knicks, a championship run nobody will ever forget.